Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hey, hello. I forget how I greet you.
Hi, how are you? I was just wondering, do you
Yeah,
like to run half naked as well?
100%.
Me
Like,
too. Like the least amount of clothes I can wear and pray that I bump into a topless man that has 8 abs, like why not?
it was it was such a preview of, let's say, like, Willow and Chase because
Yes.
he is absolutely gonna cross that line. Could you imagine after all of this, it's like he has scruples? I don't think he has them. I don't think so. Like, I don't think
I
that
don't
this
think
we're gonna
so.
all be shocked.
He has just I it's what I love is what they're doing with Willow's character in a sense that, like, she's really delving into this, like, being a bad person.
Mhm.
Her makeup, her way the way she's dressing, I love her confidence, like, don't get me wrong, anything like that, but it reminds me of, like, those Disney movies where there's the evil witch, except she's, like, super beautiful because it's Willow, and Chase is just, like, he drank from that cauldron, like, he's just like, "Give me more. This is the best love potion tea I've ever drank in my life."
Well, yeah, she obviously gave off Disney princess vibes. She always has as Willow, but she is coming into her own. Like, she's very firm in what she's doing. She's very confident, but she's also this. I'm important. I work in the day and I work late. And I do things like blow off steam. Like even though I do admit she's coming into her own, there are parts where it's like it is very new. She recently spent so much time admonishing all these other people who had
Yes.
power and being so mad and wanting it herself. And it's literally like she just put on a new skin, a new outfit, and she's like, "I'm one of those now." So that's why it's weird for me.
But that's why I love it because, yes, it's absolutely weird and you can't look away, but that's exactly how Nina fell into the role. She constantly falls into that role, right? Of like, "Why don't people treat me like that? I'm dressed this way. Why don't people treat me like that? I
It's
have this
true.
job. Why don't
It's
people
true.
treat me this way? I'm now with Sunny." So it's so fun to watch Willow try this on and be exactly like her mother.
That is very true. That's a good observation, and I loved watching Michael's plan in motion.
I was wondering who was taking the pictures, honestly.
Really? Immediately, I'm like,
Good
it's
for
his
you.
PI. Another thing though, just to solidify the whole Willow chase, like, not only do they like being half naked and very like, "Oh my god, you're amazing. No, you're amazing." They also do this, "Don't the Quartermains suck?" So they were, like, commiserating over the
Right?
Quartermains, and I'm like, "Wow, that is a core value they both share about the Quartermains and how they view them and their privilege." Chase is gonna have to say goodbye to that privilege sometime soon, I think.
I think it's so fascinating the way they're placing Chase because exactly what you said, who he is. He's a police officer and he's like a little puppy. And then you parallel that, and we'll dig deeper into it later, but like a Dante Elizabeth, where they're coming together for the love of something. And these two are coming together for the love of something by hating on others.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Something else about that whole storyline with Brooklyn and Chase. So I was thinking about it. A couple of things. Like when I was thinking about, let's just say they create a scenario where we can see Brooklyn and Ethan together. It would be very Tracy Luke if you think about it. Like when we were talking about, let's say, where would Brooklyn land should Chase cheese? Nobody wants him to do it, but it would be his own stupid fault. So if she was alone, she had talked to her grandmother about like focusing on her kids, like how they were
Mhm.
really important. So we were talking, we're like, oh well, that's similar to Tracy. She's got her two sons. She's been chronically single because all the people she marries suck until she
Mhm.
found Luke. And so we were thinking if Brooklyn was sort of a little unlucky in love, it's interesting because she would be sort of emulating Tracy's character. But then I also thought about something with regards to Ethan. So in today's episode, when they were handing Alexis that file
Yes.
and the limited information they had to go on, which included the tattoo,
Yes.
I was wondering, do you think Ethan will have a matching tattoo?
I freaking hope so. So one, I love that observation about
Mhm.
Tracy and that life that Brooklyn is leading and they gave us a little glimpse of, Ethan staring at the baby, but not getting too close, but you see
Yeah.
that love and that, like, potential there, like, they're planting seeds for us for sure, but oh my gosh, yes, we need to see him. He never wears, like, short sleeves or tank top. Summer's coming, the pool's gonna be unveiled at the Metro Court, we're gonna see it.
I think so. Like, I find that it's sinking in more this whole, Ethan being the father and that it's kind of a big deal. Like, I think when they showed that Ethan had a connection to Delilah, you're thinking, yeah, he's got to be the dad. But then I said, like, even the way he was looking at the baby, he didn't have any angst really. It was just like, oh, baby. And I'm like, wow, that guy's really comfortable not having me. And so this week, he's looking at the baby a little bit more longingly. And
Yes.
so that's a bit different for me. And now I'm kind of seeing the potential struggle. So can Ethan keep going and be comfortable, not necessarily being a part of his baby's life? Like now I'm really starting to think it really is his baby. And he's discovered this baby and the connection to Delilah. So I feel like the next discovery would have to be Brooklyn discovering him and them
I
discovering each other.
I love it because that was well said. But he was talking about how he spent time with Sasha and the baby, and he was like
Mhm.
glowing when he was talking about, and he's been talking a lot about sense of family. And
Yes.
right, so there's like a lot that's being pulled together, but so subtly and so well done that I can completely picture that slow pull to each other to raise this family because they only have one goal in mind, and Brooke it's that baby, it's raising that baby in that house, and not having to fight about who the quartermaids are, just embracing all of that, and Ethan can absolutely do that.
That is so true because when you think about Ethan returning, he could literally have any backstory. He could have said
Yes.
anything about the most recent thing he did. But then he chose to kind of highlight the Sasha connection, mentioning Robert, and then mentions he spent time with the baby. Again, he could have said anything. He could have said, I talked to them, I
Mhm.
FaceTimed, I learned to have a new niece. Like he didn't have to they did not have to portray it the way that they did. So
Yes,
I definitely
exactly.
agree with that part. Another thing that kind of clicked for me when it came to Ethan was
Mhm.
when he was sitting with Christina because they had a history and she had a crush when she was younger and they pretty much squashed that
Yes.
when he came back. But then when I was watching them talk, first of all, Christina left out a lot about her story and the
Oh,
pregnancy
did
and the
she?
baby.
She's
Yeah.
still rewriting her narrative while she tells that story.
Yeah, like I didn't realize how in so many ways that story was unresolved.
Yes.
Because we went through that trial, but and this is the first we're hearing Christina being like, "I can come close to the idea that this was an accident." Like, the best she could say is, "I regret going to Ava's room," because that is traumatizing realizing, like, you tripped. Like, she didn't do it.
Exactly.
Like, it was just all an accident. So this is the first we're watching her sit with that because they moved on. They literally had this dramatic storyline. They went to the courtroom, and then that was that. But, I
Yes.
mean, at the end of the day, you were gonna petition to take that baby.
Yeah, big time.
So there was a lot unsaid, but I felt that Ethan was essentially picking up where Lucky left off because the whole concept of like Christina Lucky and the bar
Yeah.
was a Luke Sunny bond,
Hmm. Okay.
So I just think that's what I like, and that's probably why it's best that that not be the romantic scenario, just because they are they're representative of Luke and Sunny and just a lifelong bond and being there for each other.
Okay, that helps me understand it better, and also, with the Brooklyn storyline, like, I've made peace with that.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad we're all okay. So, like, let's just talk about it, okay? Because Ethan was
Only
involved with some other shenanigans. I
Mhm.
can't fully blame Ethan on this one, okay? Because Sonny is very aware that Ethan is biased, that Rick is biased,
Yes.
and Sonny chose to be uninformed. He chose the absence of information plus action.
So, I titled this section of my notes, "Gallery BS," just so everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you think of that? insane way to handle confusion between you and his sibling. Again, you could have asked him directly.
I was so beyond frustrated. I almost asked myself, is he on his meds or not? Is somebody messing with them? Because I couldn't wrap my head around how far this went. But what I would have loved to make this scene even better is if he was actually buying a gift for Sunny. I mean, it worked out well. Like, I get the whole Elizabeth thing, and it was really
Makes
like,
more sense.
you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. It all worked out lovely. But while this scene was playing out, I was like, "How do you come back from this?" And then Rick asked that same question, like, "Okay, so you put a gun in my face, but, like, I still kinda wanna be your brother, but, like, can you, like, not do that again and use your words?"
This was the most psychotic, insane scene
Yes!
I have ever seen. Like, sometimes we can have, like, dramatic storylines, a lot of betrayal, and then be like, "Well, at the core, this is what it is."
Yes.
But this is one for the books.
Right?
This is one creative way to reestablish trust between brothers,
Oh,
and Sonny
damn.
was just being too much, okay? First with the gun, then he's like, "Well, were you talking about me at the Metro Court?" And it was like,
I
not
can't.
everything is about you.
Exactly.
Like, not everything is about you." And then even Ethan being like, "But I don't understand. Rick talked to you, and then you talked to Jens." She's like, "I was with Jens before talking to Rick, and then I just returned to my seat." Like, it was just so stupid. And then, for Sonny to be, "Okay, let me grab my gun and, finish off my brother." I'm like, "But you can't be bothered with Cyrus, Jens, Colin, Jack, like nothing." Like, when actual enemies are here, he's like, "No, let's wait it out
This is
before
what's
we make a
interesting to me
move."
because you talked last week about, like, how Nina brought that old school kind of soap drama. So in that moment, that's what I was thinking about too. Like, Sonny's bringing this old school, this old hothead version of himself because right now he's very untethered and he's surrounded by all these new people because Jason isn't there. So he's managed without Jason before, but it feels worse because he came back and Jason was very intentional and they worked together in a different way than they have in the past. So the only way I can make this make sense in my head is how untethered he feels and how desperately he does want to trust Rick and move forward with this relationship, but he is a very terrible communicator.
Yeah, he communicated with everyone but Rick. Like, I mean, look, this was essentially like, this is a really big relationship, okay? And it was a really dramatic way to go steady. That's what I'm gonna
Oh,
say about these
yes.
2. And I mean, everything was going smoothly, but I mean, look, it makes sense. The history was so dramatic, and they squeezed in a hiccup to then solidify this so that we can officially move forward. Like, now it's, like, official. Sunny is moving forward like it's real. And even when we see this scene on Friday with Alexis, like, it's official. We're moving forward. Rick is an evolved man. You know what I mean? So there was that part of it all, but at the same time, I just felt like Sunny didn't deserve Rick.
No.
Rick was way too nice. He was like, "Yeah, I guess you can just have him keep tailing me if that's what it takes." And then it was strange because they had that music, that bonding music, and then they were talking about really weird things like, "Hey, Sonny, let's let Ava stir just a little longer." Yeah. And then they nodded
No.
and smiled with that weird music that you would have after, like, an emotional scene. I was just laughing, like, I think I was in shock. Like, I was in shock
I was in shock
watching
too.
this.
I kinda wish Rick had pushed back a little bit, not in the sense of, like, matching Sonny's temper, but saying, like, "I'm doing what I can," and setting some sort of boundary where Sonny had to chase him a little bit.
But I think this was really demonstrating Rick's growth. Even though I was very
Fair.
frustrated too, and I wish that he would push back and say something like, "Hey, you could have used your words, not the gun," as you pointed out earlier. But I think that now that we're talking about it, it just shows that Rick really was outside of himself. Like, he really tried to understand Sonny's actions and where he was coming from, which means that he was acknowledging all of his actions that would cause Sonny to react that way, because he essentially assuaged the whole situation by saying, "You know, Sonny, this it's not so bad. I mean, this could have been the Pine Barrens. This is a good step
Like,
forward.
why?
Thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you for gun and face." Like, it was very,
Ugh,
enlightened of Rick, I guess, and I mean, look, I
yes.
get it, and as long as this means that we can all move forward, that's fine. But again, that unhinged, I mean, look, I'm gonna give an early gold star to that, but it's an unhinged, sentimental moment between Rick and Sonny where they allow Ava to stew. It was hilarious but dark.
Yes, I totally agree.
I'm done. Are you done?
Thanks, folks.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. Speaking of listening, because they had no other choice, Drew, he got an earful. Earful.
Man, he gets to witness so much. He gets to be like a confessional. He gets to be like a therapist that doesn't respond. He gets to hear all the chaos that happens in the house. I love the focus on Drew right now because he is doing everything with saying nothing. Like, it's actually pretty great.
This was crazy. So there was an answer to something that I was questioning last week. Because last week when the needle happened, I said, I am starting to think that she was aiming for just anybody, which is kind of scary because in my mind, I'm thinking you're aiming for Brennan, right? Not Valentine. But we all saw she was aiming and Valentine moved at the last second. And so we talked about it. And then this week, that seemed to be crucial because Valentine told Carly she betrayed me. She was gonna needle
Yes.
me. And he was mad. Like, he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
happy with her.
No.
'Cause it turns out she betrayed him a bunch of times, meaning she was trying to get Brennan out before Valentine could do anything, and she was gonna harm Valentine over Brennan.
Wildly messed up. What was she because Brendan has the video?
I guess. And they need, oh yeah, because for this nightmare to be over, they need Brennan to get dirt on Drew so that way they can
Right.
stop drugging him.
Right.
So that chaos happens. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, but what now? He's been completely needled.
Yes.
And Nina's just like, I mean, look, I was about to say she's a good person, but I couldn't allow myself to say
No,
the
I was
whole
gonna s good
sentence.
for you, yeah.
But she reaches for her phone and calls 911, and I'm like, "What are you gonna say? Like, how are
Right.
you gonna explain this?" Like, Valentine leaves. We got finger movement from Drew,
Mhm.
but yeah, it kinda sucked for him. I felt really bad. Like, he was almost there. Not really, but he was almost there.
Like, the fact that we are feeling bad for Drew and cannot wait for him to get out of this coma, look how far his character has come.
I know! I cannot wait to see what this man is gonna do, because how do you react to everything Willow has done? Like, I'm genuinely curious to see what that's going to look like because I find it's just so complicated and just so terrifying. And the thing about Drew is he locked up all his trauma. Like, his trauma was
Yeah.
leaking out and he was getting angry and he had that bar
Mhm.
scene ages ago at Charlie's with Anna.
Yes.
But then he just totally shifted, but he didn't deal with anything. So that's kind of why I'm curious. Like, I used to always question, like, this guy has been taken so many times. He's missed out on his life so many times, but he always has this plastic smile. Like, what is going on? And then when he started to get angry, I'm like, okay, well, this makes more sense considering what this guy has lived through. But then it just took a really sharp turn.
Mhm.
And I felt nothing for him. I was just really aggravated most of the time. But now I'm really curious because now we're back at a traumatizing experience. What is this gonna mean for him?
I know, how does he move forward from this? Who does he reconnect with? What's his next step?
Jordan.
Like, we know this. I just I need it to happen sooner than later.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
So
need her to
this
find herself, and I need Drew to have a voice.
but this was crazy. So Nina is at the hospital. The funniest phone call between her and Willow.
Right?
So funny. Like, Willow's moment with Chase is interrupted, and I just kept thinking, "That's what you get for blackmailing your mom into
Yup.
drugging Drew." Because if you had not blackmailed her, this woman would not have fumbled. Now you gave her one job, and in true Nina fashion, do that job, and she made it even worse. Like, that's what she does, and that is what you get for pulling her closer into this. That is
Exactly.
your fault. You did that. So I thought that was funny. I feel like that was complete karma for what she did.
100%. Like, honestly, early gold star. Like, Nina has just been doing so good. Like, I love her physical acting, the way
Yeah.
she responds to things, the way she delivers her line, her, like, little nervous tick when she's talking to people. Like, she has just been on point.
Okay, so, like, many people are starting to connect the stroke dots,
Exactly, Miss
and Will
Elizabeth honorary PCPD.
exactly, and, like, Willow is also aware of this because that's what she was trying to walk her mom through because Nina wouldn't leave the hospital, and none of it made sense. Why is Jack there? Like, she basically put so much trouble on Willow's doorstep, and I don't think they realize that Cullum works with Sidwell because Nina's telling Cullum one story and Willow told Sidwell another
I
story.
know. Oh
And
my
then Sidwell
word.
told the story to Cullum.
Yep, they're all in very, very deep, dark trouble.
Like, Cullum is more obsessed with who shot me. Like, I'm like,
I
get over
know.
yourself.
Big
Not
baby.
everything is about who shot me.
Exactly.
So it's like his mind is elsewhere, but like, at what point are they gonna like put this together? And Willow believing that, well, she was believing her own hype because she started to get out of line with Jen's, being like, you know what? You clean this up. He's like, you know what? And she's like, you're right. I do know what. But this whole, like, we're gonna stop drugging Drew soon, right? Yeah, 100%. That's
I
what's
love
gonna
how Gull
happen.
she reminds me of, like, Cassius in the sense that, like, she's medium bad, she doesn't truly understand the consequences of how terrible these people actually are, and she still feels she can maintain some sort of power, that they're actually helping her from, what, the goodness of their heart or something?
Like, Obert would be ashamed of all of them if
Yeah,
she found out that they were
truly.
all doing medium, subpar, inefficient bad. Like, she would be ashamed of Willow, Nina, Cassius, all of them.
Yes. It's bonkers.
There's a lot going on with that family. And I really hope that when all of these truths come to the surface, I really hope we get this like comical family intervention, family meeting where Obrecht is processing everybody's mess of a life and like literally giving each of them hell, like giving them all a piece of her mind. Like, I want, because this family is doing too much. They're doing too
Too
much.
much.
And it's funny. I needed to all come out together as like obviously all the storylines, but I need a private family moment. I need the family moment drama of it all.
I would love, love, love to see that.
So again, the whole, hey, mom, maybe get away. People are gonna realize it's kind of weird that all these men are having strokes in my house. And And the funniest interaction, I think of the week maybe, and we've said this, right? You're watching a scene and you're trying to remember who knows what.
Yes.
Watching Carly and Nina match each other lie for lie, absolute insanity. And we've talked about this. How many times has Carly and Meta acted? Like pretended she didn't know something to the point where you're believing her. Like the whole
Yes.
time she hid Jason, that I was like, maybe Jason's not there. And I'm like, but I just saw him there. Like, I am believing her. And then when she was talking to Nina, being like, oh my gosh, have you been hiding Valentine? I was like,
So good, so
what
good.
is happening right now? That conversation was crazy because she knows. She knows what happened because Valentine is with her. So she knows every single thing Nina did. And she's getting to hear it directly from her and compare notes to what Valentine said. And she's the
Yeah.
one putting the stroke thing because Valentine is just like, okay, like this is crazy. She had this medication, she injected him. And I'm like, he's a smart guy, but Carly made that connection quicker. But the medication did result in the stroke.
Exactly, and I loved, like, Nina's expression through it all. I love how everybody's kinda piecing it together, like, the story is coming together. Everybody knows a little bit of everything.
It That's exactly it, and I'm just wondering who, because everyone knows a lot about Cullum and Sidwell in a way, and everybody knows very different things. Everyone has very different agendas and reasons why. Everyone has different partners they're working with. So that's why it's really confusing to understand how it would all come together. But the whole thing with Carly and Nina, it's like they did a whole tit for tat thing, but then Nina caught on. She found her leverage with Jocelyn. And it was funny watching how they navigated that, where like Carly backed down and just warned her about Cullum. But
Yes.
but before that Nina even had a leg up, I liked how Carly spun things, accusing Nina of things, backing her into a corner where she wasn't gonna say anything, maybe would even ask Carly to keep her mouth shut about Valentine. Carly ended up accomplishing that goal when she says, "Colum is creepy and you may not want to." So I love all the threats when they both know, like, they're gonna stick together on this and they're gonna both be quiet.
Yes, exactly, like, it was a really roundabout way of saying, "Okay, we're on the same page, we don't
Yes.
wanna get each other in trouble, we still wanna protect the people we love. We are not friends, but we got this."
But they needed to have a one up, that's the thing.
Yes,
It's like that captures it perfectly. They're on the same page, but they still needed to have that little thing back and forth.
yes.
But Colin, I mean, this is getting very dangerous. This is getting very dangerous, this whole well, you know what? We know it's dangerous. Do you know who doesn't know it's dangerous? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Charlotte and Danny.
La la, yes.
I mean, I posted about this. Like, they both have infamous parents. And, Charlotte, I will say, is savvy because she went on the run. She knows how to be on the run, but she doesn't know how to be any. She's never really shot anybody.
Yes, accurate.
She's still a teenager. And it's really funny to see that, right? There was the girl we saw as Valentine's daughter, but it's crazy what suburban life has done to her. She's
Truly,
become a teenage girl.
hard.
It's like, okay, this like criminal that's super dangerous that almost killed your dad once, and some of my relatives, like my uncle Lucky, I'm gonna like I'll take you there. I know, I know the way. Get your dad's speedboat. Let's find evidence. Like, what are you talking about? Evidence of what? Like, what would they be looking for? Do they think that they're gonna go to Sidwell's and gonna be evidence against Jason
Yeah, there's
for
gonna be
Danny?
a big sign, it's gonna be handwritten on a box or taped on the box, and it's gonna say, "Look in here, this is what you need."
And that's the thing. Jens has nothing to do with Jason. It's Cullum's thing.
Exactly.
But watching Charlotte and Danny be that delulu, it really look, it touches on what we've been talking in terms of long-term story with regards to Rocco and Danny. And I mean, it touches on the conversation between Dante and Elizabeth today, the idea that these experiences have changed him. Like, it was a big deal for Dante to sort of list all of the things that have gone on this year with Rocco. Like the drinking, the breaking in, juvie, his relationship with Gio, like all of it. There was so much that happened and it has changed him. Like, you're watching that whole argument and Rocco was the adult. Rocco has had experiences they didn't have, and it really does, it's not just about keeping the secret, but he's not the same person anymore, and it really sets them
Exactly.
apart. Like, they came off so childish, like, to them, and how it was handled was like, "Oh my gosh, Rocco, calm down, like, we're only breaking into, like, a criminal's house." Like, I'm
Where
pretty
it's not
sure
such
we're
a
not.
big deal.
Yeah, they were downplaying everything, and I think something was really poignant, and I think it was over their head because, again, they're still very delusional and childish and downplaying. But Rocco pointing out, like, I took the fall for the two of you. And
Yes.
I got beat up in juvie. Like, are you not understanding that there's real world consequences? Like, you guys have these plans, but like, all you're doing is getting in the way. And the best thing you can do for your dad is to stay out of trouble. And that's
Yes.
the thing. Like, Like, look at all of the most powerful adults around him. They can't go grab Jason from where he's at.
Exactly.
So I mean, look, it's hard. Like Danny is really upset and he's feeling helpless, but this whole I'm going to do this, it's not working, and I think that's the very thing that is going to drive him nuts when it comes to Rocco is of course there's the obvious my dad was gone cuz of you. But then the other part to it is, and we talked about this ages ago, the idea that Danny can't understand in the way that Rocco can understand. That Rocco is more connected to his dad and that world in a way that Danny just isn't.
So what I loved what Dante said, it kind of made me giggle at the same time. When he was talking to Elizabeth, he's like, "Rocco's on a path now." It's like he was turning into a
Yes!
vampire or something, but
No! It was
like he really.
validating.
Yes, because it really captured exactly what you were saying. Like you painted this whole picture, might have been a couple of weeks ago. Time is weird for me. That, you see this moment where Rocco, it's a really dark scene. He's in a hoodie, he's wearing dark clothes, and then he says, "Call me Ben." Like that's what I pictured when Dante said, he's on a path.
Me too. Me
Goosebumps. I still got
too.
goosebumps.
Because even
Mhm.
when I saw him with Brit, so he has that whole altercation, and I like that he was firm, you know? He's not some pushover. He can shoot a gun, not without hurting himself, but he can. And just telling them that I'm gonna rat you out. And I think that is the best thing he could do for these two.
Yes,
But I think it's tough though, walking away and realizing, Charlotte is not really on your team.
that is difficult.
Right, and that whole fracture, and then when he ran to Brit and you're watching them together, something's changing. Like, there's a really big shift I find for Brit and Rocco.
Yes, a huge shift.
A a huge shift after coming off the dumbest discussion on the planet. She has just come back from Lulu's, and that was insane. It could not have been more obvious that Lulu got in trouble with Dante. Dante came down on Lulu, so what was she gonna do? Well, now that I'm in trouble, I'm gonna call Brit and make myself feel better and then yell at her and pass the buck onto her and blame her for everything.
100%. It was so pathetic to watch.
It was. And what was really interesting about the Dante Lulu interaction was that he went there to say what he had to say and he did it all without bringing up Elizabeth.
Yes.
So that was really interesting. And I just don't think that Lulu did herself any favors when she was like, Nathan told me not to.
That was awful. It was like an adult speaking to a teenager who had no footing.
Absolutely. And so, like, it just made it so much worse that you just allowed a guy who's been gone for 7 years to just make these decisions for your kid. And then you're yelling at him for making decisions for your kid. And then
Mhm.
you change your story and goes, well, ultimately it was me. Like, ultimately, I am the one who agreed with Nathan, so it was essentially all me. And I'm just like, "I can't." And she was so lost, like, Dante is, like, broken up over this,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I don't know, I'm tired, I don't wanna go these rounds with you." And then he tells her how he feels and, like, this is not okay, and it's actually more intense than that. They're having a conversation, he's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And to me, honestly, got goosebumps, having been there for the Michael storyline, this was such a full circle moment, and it was really interesting watching how Lulu took herself out of the circle.
Oh my
She wa
gosh, right? Magic, apparently.
magic, like, she was standing right there with Dante being like, "Look, Dante sent your kid to jail. He did what he had to do. He's my boyfriend." Okay, like, that's and even when the kids were, like, yelling at him, right? Their brother's going to jail, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And she was like, "Listen, my boyfriend's a good guy. Your brother, half brother, quarter brother, he's a good guy." Like, she stood by her man. And granted, I have admitted that she had shifted that opinion, but that's pretty rough for Dante to hear what Lulu thinks of him. Like, I hate to say it, but I get it, right? Like, I get her worry that he would wanna go by the book. I absolutely get it. But
I was like, "Please tell me there's a but."
I love being on the opposite of Lulu's side. And so I loved where Dante took it. Like, I cannot believe we finally found the line because the law and his family do not mix. And he has struggled with that for years. The law is essentially the thing that has kept him separate from his family, right? It's caused distance between him and Michael, it's caused distance between him and Sonny. And so I don't know. I guess part of me is happy. Okay, like Dante is a human. He's not a robot. And he found a line to have two characters that have historically been very self-righteous, the Elizabeth and the Dante, to understand what is really important. So for me, I just felt like it was a really big deal watching Dante come to this point. I feel like the Michael thing, in terms of Dante's growth and all that, was finally put to rest. Because we've watched his conversation with Michael. They've been intense, but there was a lot of struggle there. Like, we watched Dante say, like, I'm sorry, and that was bad, but he was still berating him and trying to get him to confess.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
as a viewer, it was really tough for me to be like, okay, but would Dante do things differently? Like, is he different? Like, he's apologizing because of the outcome, and he
Mhm.
realized maybe it was best to be silent. But here you are about to repeat your mistake, telling your brother to confess.
Right?
So that was not closure for me, but I feel like I got it in those scenes, learning that for Dante, this was his son. And yeah, this is the person he's going to destroy evidence for the first time. And I mean, he had some really valid points too, that for him, the crux of all of this was that you taught my son that he can't lean on me, which was huge.
Yes, exactly.
But the best part was when, he's like telling Lulu it wasn't okay and setting his boundaries. And she was like, yeah, fine. Okay. And she was so blasé about it. And and then he's like, Lulu, I don't think you get it. And I'm like, she doesn't. And I loved it. I made a clip off of it. She was so out to lunch. Like, he has this big confrontation and she's so blasé about it. But then Britt comes and there she is. She's back. She's back making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, that was just insane to me. This could have been a text. Like, you did not need to have a
Right?
face to face with Brit. She's not going to say anything. So why do you want her there? Basically to shift blame because Dante made her feel like she was in trouble, like she made a bad choice.
Well, I thought that she just started off with, "We need to be on the same page,"
She tried.
and then just went all volatile.
Off the rails. Like, that is a
Mhm.
really aggressive approach to just get a few things straight.
Exactly.
It was such classic Lulu. It was just it just went a little too far because then she just starts recounting what happened, being like, "I know." And that was such a, like, mommy face off because she's like, "He came to me." And she's like, "Well, I know everything too." She's like, "Me too." Like, it was like every time Brit shared information, it was like, "Me too." But her to say he should have just stopped with Jason,
Oof. Yeah, that was messed up.
like, you're just unreliable as a human person, okay? Because according to you, your son told you things and Brit was out. Like, and Brit made him feel better for not making a move when it was just Cullum and Brit. So this whole thing that she said makes zero sense on the timeline, but it's also just wrong as a human to say. That he should have let you die wouldn't have been possible because Jason came around after. So there's just the logistics of it all, but then it's just how wrong that whole thing is. So you're basically telling this girl, you should have been left for dead, but I need your sympathy because you're not getting it. I'm gonna cry now. I missed 9 months plus 7 months.
Honestly, when she talked about the 9 months, and the 7 months, I'm like, "I can't even." He doesn't even remember. I know it's hard. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I loved Brit's reaction because that's how we all feel. Like, get over it. Like, get over it. Like,
Honestly,
I
stop
just
living in the
like
past.
but the worst part is That's not the reason he doesn't like you. He doesn't
I
like you for
know.
all the years he spent with you. Like, him having a desire to have a relationship with Brit is because he had experience with you.
Yeah,
You know? So that's what I feel like someone needs to tell her. Like, I think Brit needs to tell her that. And also, it was just hard listening to her whine about the 9 months, just knowing the history of some of the other women on the show, right? Like, Carly lost Morgan, Ava lost Kiki, Elizabeth, yeah, her son came back from the dead, but she lost her son for
yes.
like a while, a few years. And there's so many other characters on the show who's lost a child. And so it's just, how do you want us to care? Like, how do you want us to care?
Honestly, I totally agree. It's like she's so unlikable.
Yeah. And like there was one argument that had come up that I guess I didn't know or wasn't sure how much weight it held, but it kind of does now for me since I'm piling on. But one of the things about that came out once Rocco found out about Brit was this idea that, well, my I don't know if my parents would have like had me. Brit had me,
Exactly.
and I didn't know what to think about it. I mean, they had the embryo, you know, but I guess I never thought of that they may not have had another child.
Hey, show them a favor.
And I guess for me, I was just thinking, okay, well, she carried you, but the fact that like Rocco went there, that he sees Brit as like having chose him,
Yeah.
and them has as sort of like, well, that's mine, so give it to me. Like, now that I know it's mine, I want it. Like kids, when they see a toy, it's theirs. They don't want to play with it. But if somebody else plays with it, they're like, I want it.
No, 100%.
I cannot believe that sums up Rocco's baby storyline. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yes.
But yeah, I made a clip of it. You know, she's telling Brit she can't leave. Like, she's just trying to be in control. And then she's kicking her out of her house. It's like nobody wants to be there. And I loved it because it's not the first time she's heard this sentiment that you don't put your kids first and you put your feelings first.
Yes.
And so I loved how slowly and calmly Brit reinforced that. She's like, okay, great. Dante knows. He'll put Rocco first. Like, this is amazing. And she, like, it was crazy. You have Brit over because you want to take some stuff out on her. You want to be on the same page, but then you want to tell her, like, you should have been left for dead. Then she likes Dante better than you. So then you cry your crocodile tears and try to make her feel bad for you. Like, do you want
Mhm.
her validation? Are you pulling a Nina with Carly?
Ooh, that's messy.
And then she's all like, "If something happens, it's all your fault." I'm like, "Okay. Okay,
I've had
whatever."
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's had enough. And I think what was interesting when you're hearing Dante and Elizabeth talk is that he's getting sound advice. Also, his face when he saw her.
Damn, I know.
So I want to point this out. Notice that Alexis walked up to Rick and she's like, "You're not like, are you trying to woo me?" And I think all the couples were exactly where they should be before the date.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Especially that when they had that moment, Alexis and Rick, when they were talking about Sunny and she told Rick what she said to Sunny. Like that was a big moment.
Yeah, it's a huge moment because it highlights the shift in their relationship as well. Like, this is truly a new beginnings and a really meaningful one because this is a longtime character that's returned and we're watching his complete arc. Like, we're watching him really change and grow and realize what's important, which would make sense for a person who's like lived a full life. So I think it's really cool to have these more legacy characters just kinda like, I guess for me, I see it as like joining forces and being together and really solidifying these like historic stories.
Okay, so when you said couples, like I love everything that you have to say, and absolutely I agree with you. But one of the couples that's popping into my head right now as you're talking is Joss and Cassius.
My gosh. Yes. Yes.
So
I remember
yes, you're thinking yes?
last week you said like, "Oh, was it a crush? Like, what's going on?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like taking her. She's annoying. He's keeping her quiet. But this was different.
Right?
This was very, very different for me. Actually, I didn't know where you were gonna go. I didn't know if you were gonna mention Joss and Cassius or Ezra and Laura because like she held his arm, like they stood like a couple. Like I grabbed a
Oh
photo.
my gosh, yes,
Yes,
you're right.
we had a lot of couple previews this week of where like the summer is gonna take us, but that was different. Like I did not expect that, but they definitely set the stage for what you like what we were talking about when he first took her, like this whole idea of like, well, what's her leverage? Because obviously her only way out is to collaborate with Cassius, basically.
Yes.
And we were just always asking the question, what can she give him? But then he gave her a lot. And she was like, I can help you have the life you want. I can help you be a real boy. And he was
Exactly.
But that was so vulnerable. He's like, "I'm not like my dad." And then it's like, everybody loved Nathan. And she was like, "You don't have to, like, be him to fall in love." So something I did not catch, and it made me laugh, was, Cassius was being really vulnerable and talking about loving the people that Nathan loved and feeling that love back. And I hadn't noticed until Jocelyn brought it up. She's like, "So Lulu's not part of those bonds?" And he was like, "Nah, I'll take it or leave it. Like, she doesn't want me right now. What are you gonna do?" But like, there was no, like, I love her. This is it
I
for
know.
me. Like, there was none of that. Like,
Soulmate.
none of that. But I don't know, that connection, everything he said, it was really deep. And Jocelyn came off genuine. Like, I know this girl's like fighting for her life,
Yes.
but that felt like a very, very real connection.
I totally agree. It's like the way they're talking, the way she like empathized with him and wanted to genuinely help him create a life. There was a shift because maybe putting her in that room on that timeout was really significant because she was hitting like a nerve with us, for the
Yeah,
past couple of
yeah,
weeks,
yeah.
driving around town, driving everybody crazy. But like we got to see a glimpse of old Joss in that moment.
Absolutely. And something
Yeah.
I was thinking about was, well, like I'm looking at both of them and I'm thinking, Jocelyn she's definitely transitioned into like more adult storylines. She is seen as an adult, but obviously still a kid, not because she's a kid and not adult like, but just in the context of storylines with like her mom and Jason, right?
Mhm.
That's how they see her. And so sometimes we see her as little Jocelyn, even though she's grown up into this adult. And I was thinking, okay, like it's been a while since we've had like the older partner person, like Ava's had that with like Morgan. But I was even thinking about that when I was looking at Elizabeth, because even back in the day, Elizabeth was part of the younger kid storyline. Elizabeth was like the Emily, the Lucky thing.
Yeah.
And then Sonny was this older guy. Carly was perceived as a little bit older. And then you had like Sonny Rick. So then it was weird when you had like little Elizabeth going toe to toe with Carly over Jason when it felt like they were just the like slightly older cohort of characters.
Yes.
And I mean, even when you look at them, it's like, yeah, like Elizabeth was this younger character, the teen character for like forever. And then here you have this adult mobster who's been a mobster, in the show for a while, and his brother comes to town. So there was that age gap with Elizabeth and Rick.
Yes, that's true. Okay.
And so I was thinking about that to see, like, okay, well, does that fit with Jocelyn? Can we see this?
I totally am seeing
I
it.
do see it. I do see it. But
Okay.
it's weird because, like, Nina brought it up, and I just didn't think that that was a real teaser. Do you have a crush on my brother? Could you
Yeah, kinda.
imagine? Could you imagine
Yes, yes.
Lulu being single, Carly with Valentine, Jocelyn with Cassius, Dante with
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, and then Brooklyn raising a baby with her brother Ethan?
Yeah. That's amazing.
If GH can give me this, oh my God, and Laura with Ezra,
That's bonkers.
all couples that she does not understand.
Yes.
If GH can give me this, I will forgive everything. Every moment with Lulu will be worth it. You know, all those annoying moments, watching her berate Brit and Brit not slapping her, it will be worth it.
I'm down for it.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm so happy now that I've said it. I'm so happy right now thinking about it.
I love this. I love this vision.
And even okay, the cutest moment for me, Brit and Lucas. It made my heart
Oh, yes.
so happy because you're seeing Brit with a drink and you're thinking, wait, who's she being this informal and familiar with? Is it Brad? And then you pan out and it's Lucas. And I love them just getting along. Like, see, that's how you do it, right?
Right?
Like, they acknowledge their history. They have a reason to work together. They're protecting each other, except I think they should protect each other harder. Like, when you take Lucas and move him around the corner, go further away before
Yeah,
you talk
honestly.
about like, hey, that guy that I saved you from, should we tell his business partner that he killed his son? Do
So
you
what?
think?
Everybody with the loud talking, the sound noise wasn't working because Rocco, like, screamed at the top of his lungs about shooting him, like, 3 times.
Yeah, like really loudly, all the details.
Everything.
So yeah, so I'm loving Britt and Lucas and having them debate. It really felt like satisfying logistics corner wise, listening to them walk through why they're not just saying it directly and what all the risks are. And my favorite was when she was gonna sacrifice herself and Lucas was
I
like, boo
know.
hoo, Jason's gone. Like, we're gonna figure this out.
I know, I love that honesty, I love that he said he needed her and that she
Yes.
couldn't go, like, it was so, like, solidifying their friendship and relationship, and she was trying so hard not to smile so big that it was yeah, it was absolutely adorable, like, her circle is starting, she's got Lucas in there, she's got Rocco in there that she has to protect. I feel like Dante will easily be, far more understanding because she's in this circle
Yes.
of in the know now, and if Rocco helps Britt feel like a human being, like, Dante doesn't know what to do, and he said in his conversation with Elizabeth, he's not trying to make it about him, but it's really difficult to see his son suffer, and he doesn't know what to do. And Britt, I feel, is 100% that person that's gonna know how to guide him. She already gave him that really great speech about being a hero and doing the right thing even though
Yeah.
it's scary. So, he's gonna have a newfound respect for Britt, like, she's building her little circle.
Absolutely, and there was something about that that I wanted to get to about Dante and Elizabeth and their conversation, because we're watching how Lulu treats Brit, but Elizabeth gave advice. Your focus is to be a safe place, not to make Rocco see Brit the way you want her to, which is
Yes.
literally the party line of Lulu's storyline with Brooklyn. She wanted everyone to see Brooklyn the way she saw her, and like Brit
Mhm.
is like 10 times that for her. And that's all she wants. And she's been doing that since Brit came back to town, being like, hello, doesn't everyone think she's horrible? And it's kind of like, is this thing on? Because everyone
Mhm.
else moved on. And I think that is going to be the distinction parent wise is that for Dante, he knows that there was a lot of fractures between him and Rocco at his hand. He knows that the choices Nathan and Lulu made set back his relationship in a way, subtly communicating that dad is not someone I can go to. And
Yes.
so I think that he already as much as he told Elizabeth it didn't go well, I found that he handled Rocco's feelings about Brit really well. He's like, "No, no, no,
Yes.
it's not about that. It's just that there's something going on." And I think that's what's gonna happen is that Dante is gonna make space for him, and I think he's gonna make space for Brit, and like you said, once he realizes what Brit is able to do for him, I think that's gonna be a really big deal, and I do think in a way, like, look, Lulu can only be what she knows. And I think
Yes.
obviously in her way, her own way, she's doing her best. But the reality is her rigidity, her fixed ways are pushing her kids away. And she is forcing them to go elsewhere. And a lot of her kids have to tiptoe around her. And
Yes.
and I think the reality is that Brit gives him space to exist imperfectly. And she's not someone that he has to worry about. And that's the thing. Like when Lulu was tantruming in the context with Brit, it just highlighted that every other adult in the situation with Rocco, and I am including Nathan. So like Nathan, Brit, Dante, Elizabeth, like all the adults who know what's going on have some kind of power and have done something to directly protect Rocco. Lulu had one job,
Mhm, mhm.
and it was to keep quiet. And she ended up taking Rocco to the hospital. Today, we discover something huge where Elizabeth validates this difficult thing that Dante has to do. And we know as viewers that Dante feels the way he does about the law and has tried his best over the years not to compromise. Like he's towed the line, basically. But this is a huge turning point for his character, and she was there to validate we got to do to protect the people that we love. And she validated her efforts, like, I got you column sample. I made sure that
Yes.
there was no record of Rocco that night. And I'm like, that was like goosies for me to
Right?
realize how far she went for Rocco, and I'm gonna say for Dante. I'm gonna take that leap. And
Yes.
there was such intimacy in their conversation. Like, she even brought up her trauma.
I know, I couldn't believe it.
So, and I love that, and I love to give it, like, to give that hope. Like, he's going through a hard time now, but, like, he will find his way through, you know what I mean? It's not gonna ruin his life, but I can't help but, like, even in those moments, in just the fashion that Dante was talking about, Rocco, the scenes between Rocco and Brit's flashbacks of Rocco, I
Yes.
think, for me, amplified the significance, and her kinda seeing herself as important to Rocco, and
Yes.
that
I
she
love
could, you know what I mean? That she's important and she can be helpful and that she is good for him and that she will put him first. The whole Ben thing, you know what I mean? Like, I can see that. Like, I can see one
Yes.
day him wanting to be called Ben, but again, I really hope it's not an homage to Brit because she's not there. I want her to be there. But
Yes,
I
she has to be there.
Yes, I really want her to, but I don't see it, you know what I mean, with changing her name that way, but I see a Ben, I don't see a Rocco, and it's interesting to have Dante say that, like, "My little boy is gone, his innocence is gone. He's on a new path." Like, I found it just incredible.
Yes, same.
So, I had this post of Curtis, but I feel like, oh, I don't know if I can post it now because I was gonna ask, like, "How far do you think Curtis will take this?" But then we saw him take it further.
He took it the furthest. I am struggling so much. Okay, funny note though, there was a
Mhm.
moment this week with Portia, no, not Portia, sorry, Jordan and Curtis, where she takes off the Band-Aid, but the Band-Aid was covering nothing of what was actually affected on her face. So that was the only thing that kept me going this entire week with those two. But Curtis is amped up. What did you think about his confrontation?
First of all, he's just aggravating, but I think it started when he was with 88 Turner and just the specific words that he was using. So
Mhm.
Curtis, oh yeah, this is okay. Yeah, maybe I'll still post it because I'm going to talk about it now, but I forgot about this part of it. Is Curtis kept saying, "Why would someone be evasive? Why would someone not be truthful? He looks guilty." And all I kept thinking was, that was you when they questioned you about Drew's shooting.
Exactly.
You looked guilty. You were evasive. You did not provide an alibi. The distinction being is that Isaiah actually was nowhere around and he was helping someone. And that was the funny thing because, like, they really amped up, like, Isaiah being like, I help kids. Look at all the work I've done. I'm such a humanitarian and a doctor, just to contrast him and Curtis, which was hilarious.
Yes.
And but even the things with, what I was saying about Curtis and what he did with Drew, like, he actually did put a hit out on Drew.
He absolutely did.
We're supposed to pat him on the back because he has no follow through? We know that about Curtis. That makes him a good person, and I'm wondering if that's what Jordan was referring to in terms of her fears because she knows that he went that far to have somebody off Drew,
Ooh,
and
okay.
how adamant he's being about Isaiah. Like, hello? He's gonna touch her belly. Like, I hate to break it to you. The court, nobody in the world is gonna care about your feelings. No judge is gonna be
Honestly.
like, "Oh, okay. You don't want your ex-wife's boyfriend to be around your baby. This is new. Never heard of this before."
Right?
Like, it was just horrible. I mean, look, I'm disappointed in Jordan for kind of like going along with this. And I do hope that a conversation with Isaiah will shift things for Jordan because, like, Curtis is not on point. He, like, no matter what, he's like, "I know, I just know." And part of me did want this. I did want him to unravel. I did want his focus to shift because we all know that he cannot keep his attention on the woman he's with,
Yes.
and he will do anything but that.
100%.
So we saw that Jordan is becoming concerned, but I really do hope Isaiah puts him in jail.
Puts Curtis in jail?
Yeah. Like, have him arrested
Yes.
for the night.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get him
Press up
arrested.
press a little charges.
Love it. Love it.
But
Want
talk
it.
about mistress behavior, though. Talk about mistress behavior. Like, he literally tells Curtis, "I'm gonna be a better dad than you."
But it was so good. It was so needed though. Like it was so petty, but so good.
It was so petty. It was so petty because it's like, already he's made digs at him about, like, being a crappy husband,
Yes.
okay? And he's a mistress, right? So he's like, "I'm a better man than you," right? Like, "I know how to treat her. You're a crappy person. And not only am I gonna treat your ex-wife better in ways that you never did, I'm also gonna raise your baby the same way. I'm taking it all. I'm taking this life, your life, my life now." Loved it. Loved it.
Loved, loved. Yes, definitely major star moment.
And what makes this even better is that we know Isaiah's got an alibi, like, on the back burner. Push comes to shove, he'll disclose who he's with.
Yes.
And even Lulu was like, "Cool beans. Thanks for letting me know. Just give me a heads up. Be happy to keep you out of jail."
Exactly.
So that's what makes it, I think, even more enjoyable for me. Yes, it's hard to watch Curtis like this, but I did want to see him unravel. And that's the thing. Like, Isaiah is safe no matter what, and I was, like, worried because he was, like, giving all this information that he had an accident, and I loved when he was, like, telling Portia, she had the best line, like, "How could you be with somebody who would do something like this?" She's like, "I'm not. I'm not."
It's so good, so good.
I loved it. It was amazing. The takedown of Curtis that he's pretty much doing himself.
Yes, it's bonkers.
Yeah, I loved it.
My goodness. Okay, did we cover all the things and talk about all the stuff? I'm
There's
looking right now.
there's one little thing. I think this falls under logistics corner.
Okay.
Okay. So Jen's was in his safe. And I'm just thinking, if you're a criminal, where do you go get photographs developed of bodies in trunks? Like, where do you go? Is there, because all I keep thinking is, like, when we were younger and you go to develop a photo, they have like photo huts. It's done it within a pharmacy. So it's like, are you going to one of these kiosks printing it yourself? Is there like a black market photo developer printer? Do you have a device at home? Like, who is doing this for you?
No, I freaking love that. I did not think about that. I'm like, is there a dark room in the estate? Like, how does this I love it. I love that very much because even if you're
That
printing the
was my
pictures, like,
question.
how close are you standing to the machine when the actual pictures are being printed? What is Pascal standing in front of a machine? Do you see him with any patience to stand there and wait for the pictures to be printed?
Like, yeah. So that really struck me. Struck me
Oh my gosh.
hard. Oh
Love it. Love it hard. My gosh. Okay, do you have any favorite lines?
my gosh, let's see. Let's see. Did I
I
have
feel like I
any?
did, but I
I
didn't
did.
mark them.
I did.
Tell me
I
everything.
did. Okay, this was just like, I liked it. So this was regarding Charlotte. Oh yeah. So gold star to Charlotte Carly bonding.
Yes, I love that.
Really like that. And so when Charlotte was processing what Carly was saying, like, "Oh, right, if something happens to me, it makes my dad weak." And Carly immediately goes, "Not weak, vulnerable." And I was like,
Yes.
"Ooh, I love these like quick little comments, but I love their whole thing." And I'm honestly in disbelief we're getting this. You have you have Charlotte bonding with Carly that I know will drive Lulu nuts. And
Yes.
they're all like, "We hate Nita now," just as Lulu has finally started to like her. Charlotte and Carly and Valentine have solidified the I hate Nina club. Crazy.
So true.
That is really exciting to me.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Um, Stars for me, like I said it earlier, like Rocco and Britt, that was an amazing moment. I love the like Alexis Rick moment. Um,
Lucas, Britt,
yes, of
um,
course.
Carly, Nina scenes. That was
Yes.
so funny. Ezra, Laura, as they can like build their love story. Liz and Dante, amazing. Oh yeah, gold star to the Tracy Laura moment where she understood. Like, I love the way that Laura approached that by saying, "We are on the same page. I have to do this first. I'm trying to take him down." But I have to say this to Tracy to say, "Oh, you're just going to hand him the keys to the city." You literally worked with him to get Ezra elected.
Right?
And then you let him into your company. Like, you're one to talk.
I know. It's kind of a weird situation, but I'm happy that Laura was able to get through to her. I think it's important just for Laura's safety. I was happy it all went down that way. And I was like, is Ezra going to be the replacement of Martin in terms of like we thought that was going to be Tracy's love interest? Because he had both of them in the room and I was just like, okay, where is this going? But just a thought, throwing it out there.
Ezra? For
Yeah.
Tracy?
Yeah.
No, Ezra's for Laura. Ezra's for
Okay.
Laura. Don't even. No, Ezra's for Laura
Okay.
for sure. My other favorite line, also a Carly line. So, Valentine asked how Charlotte took the news that he went after Brennan, and she's like, "She's your daughter." She was delighted. It's like
Aw, so
that was
many good
such a
lines.
yeah, so many good lines, and I even love the quick reaction and it was such a subtle side smile that Valentine gave her. She's like, "Why did you do that?" She's like, "'Cause I like to make her squirm," like about Nina.
Yes.
Really scared because Cullum noticed the picture of Danny and
I
Jason.
know.
And I'm like, "You know what? It's so logical. But how do you explain to this man, no, 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 no. He went to jail for his son's pretend brother." Like, I don't think that Cullum can make that connection.
No, no, he's not capable of human emotions in that way.
No, but I can understand why he would go there. But again, so many stars. Like, I'm gonna give stars to Isaiah having an alibi because that is the biggest laugh that there is, right? Because like Curtis is busy, again, giving his energy to anybody who's not the woman he's with. But also,
Yes, of
gold star
course.
to Isaiah. He handled the DA really well because whenever we see characters in these positions, they could easily get sucked in. We know that he had body work done in his car, so we were worried for Isaiah. And I love that Isaiah knew exactly how to handle the police, which is why I want a follow up to his backstory that apparently comes from a very colorful family.
Yes, we want more of that. Oh my gosh.
Well, Brick
Okay,
is the only one who knows about it.
that's true. It's very true.
Yup.
What is your cutie pie moment of the week?
I think it's Britt and Lucas.
Oh, yes, 100% yes.
One week, the baby will make it. I swear, the
Oh,
baby
it's
is
just
gonna
not
make
yet.
it.
She's gonna be
Her time
around. We
will
got
come.
time.
Her
Exactly.
time will come.
Can you remind everybody of your handle and where to find the coloring book?
Yeah, it's at Cutie Pie Coloring. You can get it on Amazon. Just look up the Cutie Pie Coloring Book, but there's also a link to it directly from our page. Summer is
Perfect.
coming. You want them busy on a rainy day.
Exactly, 100%. Get out there. Well, you don't have to get out anywhere. Get in front of your computer, get in front of your phone, order it immediately. Love it. Okay, folks, we covered all the things. We talked about all the stuff. That's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.